Hi, my name is Janet and I own Kravitz Crochet, which is just my personal little crochet situation. And I decided to do a beginner's YouTube series. And so today we're going to start with doing a slip stitch and a chain, which is the foundation to any linear crochet project. A few basic tools you need when you get started. Obviously, one is your yarn. There's tons of different sizes and textures of yarn, but I like to start with the basic yarn. That's I call it number 4. On the actual yarn label, it tells you the size of it here. And then it also tells you what size crochet hook you need. On this one, it says 5mm, but every skein of yarn has this. And so I would recommend starting with the 4, but that's kind of up to you. The other tools that are just really basic that you need is going to be obviously your crochet hook. Now I know this package says to use a number 5, but I have my number 6. This is my favorite hook. It's a clover hook. I highly recommend these once you get into it. I also have a yarn needle, which for the chain stitch, you're really not going to need this, but it is something that you'll need down the line. And any pair of scissors. I use this huge pair of scissors, but most people seem to have a little tiny pair of crochet scissors. Another really cool feature on most yarns is the center pull. So you don't have to take the label off and like unwrap it that way. You can pull right out of the center. Usually it's sticking out just a little bit, or you can dig and find it. If you can find the center pull, this is great. You'll still get some tangles here and there, but it's a very smooth way to pull the yarn. So starting with the slip stitch, there's multiple ways to do it. This is how I do it. I wrap it around my 2 fingers here. I take the back loop, pull it over. Then I use my finger to pull up this underneath loop, and then I'm dialing back my index finger. And then you just pull tight, and you have a tail and your working yarn, which is the part that's not the tail, and 1 loop, which you will put your hook through the loop. I'm gonna try that one more time, as slow as possible. I know it's hard to see. So I'm wrapping the yarn around my 2 fingers. I'm taking the one behind and pulling it over. Then I'm slipping my index finger underneath the bottom one, so it kind of pulls it up. And then I'm just rocking my index finger back into it and pull. And I have a loop, a tail, and a working yarn, and a knot. And the nice thing about this is if you, it can just pull back. That's why it's a slip knot. So we'll start one more time. Yarn back, yarn up, rock your index finger in, pull. And then we will insert our hook here, and then you'll kind of pull tight, but not too tight on the hook because we are going to be bringing a loop through that. Now that we have our slip knot made, we can start with our chain. And again, this is your working yarn, this is your tail, and then our hook is through that first loop. Okay. So to do our chain stitch, we have our hook and our loop. The working yarn just hangs, or the tail just hangs here, and you want to use the working yarn. And so what you're going to do is put the yarn around your hook, like so you can grab it, and then you just pull it through. Now we have 2 loops instead of 1. So we'll do it again. Yarn over the hook, and you'll pull it through. Now if you hold it too tight, your stitches will be really tight, and if you hold it too loose, your stitches will be really loose, of course. Tension is the hardest thing to get figured out when you start crocheting. You'll figure out best way to hold the yarn, doesn't matter how you hold it. But the key here is yarn over the hook so that the little hook can catch it and pull through. Yarn over, and you'll move the yarn and the hook, what feels best for you, but you're essentially putting the yarn over the hook and then pulling it through the loop. Yarn over, pull it through. Let's do a few more. Yarn over, pull through. So it starts to look fast, but it's not. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Now we have what we call a chain, and each little V is a stitch. And so when we chain this one, for example, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Now I would recommend practicing the chain for a bit, because this is your most basic move that's going to be used in all stitches. And again, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. for practice, I would do it a few times and make sure that when you look at your chain, that they're fairly the same size, because it's going to be awkward at first when you do it. Practice makes perfect. And then when you're done, or if you need to start over, you can just pull and you're back to a plain piece of yarn. So that is how you chain stitch. Going forward, once you're able to do a nice chain stitch, you can find the next video, which is going to show single crochet stitch. There's other stitches that will be in each video, so we'll get some basics down, and then we can move forward into projects. I hope this helped. I know I'm not the best teacher ever, but I just wanted to get a small series out here for beginners to see if my style helps anyone be able to get started. It's a great craft to be involved with. Now we have our chain, and in this case I have chain 21. One of these chains is going to be used as a turning chain, which I'll explain in a minute. And you can see each chain is a little V. So that's kind of how you can count. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. The loop that is currently on the hook does not count as a chain. So we're going to learn the first basic stitch, which is single crochet. And no matter which stitch we're doing, we're usually going to be going into this top row. So when we're crocheting in, the V has two parts, top and bottom. We're going to be crocheting into the top part. So for single crochet, we're going to have one as our turning chain, which is this one here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook and you're going to insert it into the top of that V. And then you're going to put your yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's your first stitch. And we're going to do it again. So find the next V, you put your hook in the top of it, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. So we're going to yarn over and pull through both. And we continue this all the way to the end. So again, hook in the top of the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So go ahead and continue this all the way down your chain until you've counted 20 stitches, and then we'll start the next row so you can see how that kind of gets going. Okay, so now we have our first row of single crochet, and you can see each little part here is a stitch. And then in the top of it, each of those V's will look similar to before, which we're going to continue to crochet in. So to start our next row, the first thing we're going to do, because we use a turning chain, which just gives it extra room to turn. And if your tail is like curling up, that's okay. It's either tension related or it will start to smooth out as we proceed. So first we are going to chain 1, which is just yarn over, pull through that loop that was already on the hook. And then we are going to turn our work, so we flip it over. Now we're still going to be going into the V's just like we were before, but the difference now is we're going to go through both parts of the V. So I'm not going to worry about this first chain I created. That's my chain 1, so I'm going to go into this one. So it's the same thing. I'm going to put my hook through both V's. Pull the yarn through, yarn over again, and pull through 2 loops. And again, you just repeat. So here's my next V. So hook through the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And get some more yarn out here. All right, we have another V here. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, oops. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We just repeat this all the way across the row. So just keep finding your V's. So here we have our V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Hook into the V, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Got it? So basically, this is the repeat. You continue to do your single crochet all the way to the end. Okay, so we have finished our second row of double crochet, and you can see our little V's on the top again. And to continue and make another row, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to chain 1 chain. And then you're going to insert into the second chain from the hook. So we put our hook through, pull, yarn over, pull through 2. Hook through, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. You can basically repeat this back and forth until the project is as long as you want. We're starting with the width. Now this is just our practice swatch, so we're going to go all the way back down our 20 stitches, and then the next video will be our next stitch, which is double crochet. And by keeping them all in the same piece together, we'll be able to kind of see the difference between those stitches. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next round.